And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the ESL Open Cup Americas, number 235. I'm, of course, your side VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and my plushies as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It has been 12 hours. It's been 11 hours since our last cast. We are here, we are back, and ready for some early morning StarCraft. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Red Zerg player. The Red Zerg representing Clan SC Swarm from Atlantic Canada. It is Jay. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brazilian caster himself and singer. He's amazing, he's beautiful, representing Death Zone Gaming. It is Cosmos. Let us go. And as we settle into this, oh my god, a big shout out to some lovely resubscribers in the chat. Shout out to Rowdy. It's been so long. 11 months, almost a year. Almost a year, Bobby. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you're settling in nicely and enjoying yourself, Bobby. It's good to see you, Rowdy. Good to see you. Likewise, Fernantok as well. For 36 months. That's a lot of months. Which Prime. Gracias, Fernantok. Always do appreciate your support. Hope you always enjoy the content, the StarCraft, the casting, and it's great to be back. Great to be back. I literally just woke up. I literally just woke up and hold on. Just rubbing the sleep from my eyes. But we're ready. We're back. We're here, and it's a pull first. Oh boy. Okay, Jay opening up hyper aggressively here. I believe pull first, I believe maybe even a 12 pull. I was not quite paying attention at the time, but regardless, aggression here from our Zerg player. Lings are moving out across the map. Actually, based on the hatchery timing, this does look like a 12 pull from Jay. Lings are moving out, so the SV will scout, will confirm what's going on, and that will be a tell for Cosmos to keep his Reaper pinned back at home to defend, to protect his base, of course, to keep it up and running. And behind this, Jay double expanding. Oh, interesting. Gasless opener out of Jay, going for the natural, going straight to the third base. The way this works here is that Jay's going to be skipping gases for a long time. He's going to be skipping link speed. He should be working towards roach play. I say that, ooh, the gas has actually been being taken a lot earlier than normal. Usually we would delay it a little bit further, so interesting build here by Jay. Is an interesting build. Lings, they get across the map, they're going for the SCV. Oh, and the SCV does take a lot of hits. It looks like the SCV is going to go down. We do delay the expansion. Not a bad pickoff here. Not a bad pickoff out of Jay. Likewise, the Reaper. Oh my god. Did get stuck for a moment, getting out of here, getting onto the high ground. So a nice start for Jay. He delays the expansion. He contains Cosmos to one base. Boys are being pulled as well. A little bit unnecessary. These are slow Lings, so they can't really get on top of the Reaper. We will clean this up. Bit of an overreaction, but regardless, Cosmos will defend, and we can settle into our openers. Jay taking an economic lead. Jay, of course, now prioritizing gas to, I imagine, get into link speed. This is a little bit inefficient here, but regardless, you know, Jay is just settling in, droning up, and securing himself. We're calming things down, Bob. Calming things down. As we calm things down, we'll see where we head from here. Again, I'm assuming that link speed is going to be on the way. We have the gas. Yeah, we pull out of gas. Link speed is being researched as we speak, so Jay is going to be working with Link Bane. Reaper dips into the main base. Very important here for Cosmos to determine whether or not there is roach play or roaches coming into play, and does confirm the researching spawning pool. So we realize, okay, there's no roaches, like there's no hyper aggression, no early gases. It's a standard follow-up here from Jay, and Cosmos can calm things down and get into his 1-1-1. Okay, interesting. Very interesting here, as we do have a 1-1-1 setup, a much more aggressive here out of Cosmos. Wait, what? Interesting. So, winding it back a little bit here, shout out to Cosmos, Cosmito, papi, Cosmito, as he is a fellow caster. He's a Brazilian caster, and he covers a lot of StarCraft. I don't get to cast much Cosmos, but this is an oddity. Going for a 1-1-1 into an early Marine drop is a little bit strange. These are vanilla Marines. We won't have stim. There's not going to be like stim to work with or combat shields or any upgrades. Likewise, there's no Hellion support either. Usually a 1-1-1 would be for Hellions into Banshees. The double jump is interesting, and the Overlord is going to confirm. We do get a full scout. We get eyes on the reactor on the starport, so we're fully aware of the bio coming out. And here comes the drop. Now again, this drop is interesting. Again, there's a lot of power behind this when it comes to the Widowmine, at least as an anchor point to the Marines, and there's a lot of damage potential, but at the same time, Jay did throw down a Roachhorn. Roachhorn was thrown down after the initial scouts. Roachhorn here at the natural. Roaches are amassing. Queens are amassing as well. Now, Jay is droning. Jay is not going for an all-in, but he will have roaches to defend. And honestly, it's not going to take too many roaches to shut down the drop, as the Medivacs are scouted. Jay does spot them, does confirm. You can see the roaches rotating into the main. We have queens towards the third. Trying to get in position for the drop, for the aggression. And we'll see if we can. As yeah, the double drop is rallied right into the main base. Queens are getting in position. Jay taking a fourth. Is expanding up. Drop should not commit, as we have plenty to deal with it. And Cosmos does have to retreat. Behind this, layer is on the way. Cosmos going for a second factory. Oh my god! Okay, the twists and turns are real here. We're going for a second and a third factory. It's going to be a 1-1-1 Marine drop into mech. That I was not quite expecting, but okay, got my attention. The drop is coming into the natural, and ooh, nice positioning here with the minerals. Look, wait, what am I? Oh, get some friendly fire though. We do end up losing one of our Medivacs here. The drop is getting a bit out of control. At the same time, the Hellies, they rush in towards the mineral line. They rush into the third base. Ooh, big volley's going to be going off. Drones are going down. But we will clean this up. That's going to be 12 drone kills at the same time. Marines, they're still wreaking havoc in the main base. Still more drones going down. Oh, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand real quick. 17, 18 drones falling. Up. One shot goes off, takes down another drone. 19 worker kills. Very, very nice actually for Marines that don't really have any longevity in the game. For Hellions that can be thrown away, the only big loss was the Liberators, but again, for 19 drones, that is well worth it. And suddenly Cosmos, he's in a pretty good position. On top of that, third TC's on the way. We're getting into our tanks, into a bit of everything actually. Ooh, this is now a little bit inefficient. What I'm referring to, we are upgrading 3 different upgrades. We got Blue Flame, we got Hurricane Engines, and oh, what's it called? God, not Metabolic Thrusters, but Banshee Speed. Hyperflight Rotors, that's it. Hyperflight Rotors also on the way for Cosmos. So we're investing into 3 different upgrades for 3 different units, and we're making tanks. That's the problem here. We're making tanks of all things and working towards battle mech, a very heavy battle mech composition. So interesting. It does mean that Cosmos is vulnerable right now. If Jay were to move out with Ling Roach Ravager, Cosmos would just topple over. He just doesn't really have much to work with right now, and he's exposing himself. And as I say that, Lings are amassing, but it looks like Jay is droning. Okay, it looks like Jay is droning, Jay is teching, Jay is not going for an earlier committed push. Posturing with his army, but yeah, just knocking down drops. So Cosmos will get away with this. We'll get away with all this. More tanks, or sorry, more factories finishing up. Factories mainly on tech labs. So a very tank heavy style, now working towards Banshee production. 4 CC on the way. We're in for a long one. We're gonna be here for a while, Fab. You're gonna be here for a while. Let's go. Meanwhile, as Cosmos is settling in, and as he is scouted, we are also working towards Hive. Hive is on the way. That should be for Adrenal, should be for Viper production. Jay droning up, and yeah, we're gonna be settling down as well. Alright, gonna be settling in. Again, Cosmos being active with Hellions, but last are gonna be shut down. Thor production underway. Okay, let's go. Typically when we make Thors here, it's to hard counter Spire play in case we're afraid of Banshee. Oh, sorry, afraid of Mutas. So just sprinkling in a couple of Thors just to be secure. Banshee's hitting the field. And so far, I mean, Cosmos, he's clearing up quite a lot of creep. Unfortunately, Cloak is not done, not yet, but we do get into the mineral line. More drones going down. Very nice damage here, abusing the lack of anti-air. Speaking of anti-air, there's a Spire. Spire's in production. This should be for mutas. As we have found the links. Getting free damage. As we're investing into mutas, I mean, the Thor has arrived. The Thor is here. Hasn't made it out behind this. We can see Jay likewise settling in, investing into more Ling Roach Ravager. And as opposed to like trying to be aggressive and trying to shut down the Terran mech army before we can really get going, we're just embracing a longer game. We're embracing a longer game. Jay is the first to max out. When it comes to his army composition, he's got very little Roach Ravager and mainly Ling. He's got 70 Lings. As long as there aren't many Hellions in position, we can make use of this. There's a lot of potential with Ling counterattacks, especially these tanks. These tanks are so exposed. If Lings, if they slip in from the left-hand side, then these tanks are going to go down real quick. Here we go, the Lings, they dive in. Yeah, they catch 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks going to be going down. Brutal pickoffs. Alas, Cosmos was left wide open. It was left exposed. 4 tanks for only Lings. And now Lings are being replaced. Main army's getting ready. Creep is spreading. And this position is still looking quite fortified. We have 5 or 6 tanks here sieged up at the 4th base. But the 3rd, that's more exposed. We can try to knock down the 3rd base. Jay pushing on the right-hand side. Right into tank fire. Can we break through? We get 1 tank, we get 2 tanks. Not much else. And this time Cosmos does hold. The power bombs here shut down the Banshees. A little bit overkill, but we're going to be able to regenerate all that energy. The Ravager coming in once again. Catching 2, catching 3 tanks. 3 tanks go down. Ling counterattack towards the left-hand side. The wall is open. No, the wall is wide open. Lings, they flood into the middle line. They bust into the main. SCVs are going down. Alas, Cosmos out of position. Not ready for this. And as he's being dragged towards one side, we come in towards the other. Yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. We take down 1 more tank. Almost 2. In the main base, 22 SCVs going down. And Cosmos is getting torn apart. It is becoming a little bit much. And we can just keep going. Yeah, at this point, we can just collapse in. File's going to be connecting. Planetary goes down. We've broken the 4th. And Cosmos still trying to recover, trying to stabilize. Alas, he just doesn't have the supply to defend both locations at once. Lings are still wreaking havoc. No! 2 Lings. Oh, they get 43 SCVs. We still have Lings in the main base as well. Damage still being done. And Cosmos just cannot keep up. Not anymore. And Jay's remaxed. Jay just remaxes more Lings. More Ravagers. More Ravagers at this point here. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, Cosmos is fighting. He's fighting to recover his 4th, to regain control of his 4th base, but we just keep going for run-bys. This time Hellbat's in position, but we have Bailings to deal with them. Lings, they get into the mineral line. The last bastion of hope here for Cosmos under fire. SCV is going down. Cosmos refusing to kind of leave his position. But GG gets called, and Jay will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Jay will take a lead here. And Cosmos, he had his own moments. Like, if you remember, winding it back, Cosmos, he killed, what was it, 19 drones? Oh, I should fix that up. But Cosmos, he killed 19 workers. It was impressive. It was insane how much damage Cosmos was able to achieve with his Hellion run-bys and with his initial opener, with his drop play. Killed a lot of workers. Outside of that, though, again, the follow-up was a little bit lackluster. I would have liked to have seen Cosmos being either greedier or a little bit more specialized in how he was teching. If you remember, Cosmos invested into Hyperflight rotors, like Banshee Speed and Banshee Cloak, but he only ever made 3 Banshees. Like, the Banshees were never, like, a big part of his army. Likewise, he invested into Blue Flame and Hurricane Engines, but he also didn't really invest too heavily into his Battle Mech army until later on down the line. So because of that, he just didn't really have enough support or enough of a buffer for his tanks. He had a big tank line, but we saw how exposed they are, right? Tanks on their own, they're so vulnerable to specifically Lings. Like Lings, they close the distance, they get on top of the tanks. Tanks cannot shoot units that are right next to them, of course, so melee units just wreak havoc, and in the end, Jay did take advantage of the positioning and the army composition of Cosmos. And now we're settling into game number 2. Can we bounce back? Can we make a series out of this? I want to believe. I do want to believe. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the caster himself. Let's go, representing Death Zone Gaming down to the series, but looking to bounce back. It is a Cosmos. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player representing SC Swarm. It is Jay. We go. So we are going to be settling in. Going to be settling in for now, just going for a standard opener. Jay going hatch first, bearing in mind that Jay went for an earlier spawning pool last game, but this time going to be a hatch gas pool, what looks to be a standard opener from our Zerg player. Likewise, Cosmos going for a Rax expand as well, but we'll keep an eye on the follow-ups here. Remember, Cosmos did go for a quirky 1-1-1 into a vanilla marine drop, which was wild. It was crazy. Likewise, we had Jay, who also went for a gasless opener into roaches in the last game. So, and we'll see how our paths do divert and whether we go the same way. We shall see. Now we're going to be slipping in with our scouts, getting read what's going on. Again, standard opener, and Cosmos does confirm. I don't blame Cosmos for coming in and just ensuring himself. Feeling safe and secure behind this, expanding, and this time his CC won't be delayed, it won't be disrupted. We're gonna be okay. Gonna be okay here. Likewise, as we're settling in, we do have Jay just saturating his bases. Should be going for a third. There we go, going for the triangular third base. A pretty secure third. This does allow us to mine through these minerals and expand on the right-hand side. What I will say about mech, as well as Cosmos did flex his mech in game 1, is that Alcyone is a much larger map. It is a lot more secure as well. If Cosmos did want to just turtle up and embrace mech, this is a better map for it. Straight up, this is a better map for mech, so the idea of just securing and walling off this area here towards the left, this ramp here, and expanding on the right-hand side and walling this off. I mean, I can see it so clearly. We've seen many a player embrace mech on this map, and yeah, I would kind of favor, I would say, that this style out of Cosmos would be more successful and more effective on Alcyone. But we'll see. See, that's what he embraces. For now, there's our factory, and show us a Starport. Is it the same opener? Is it the same build? It looks like it's similar. Okay, 1-1-1. It is a 1-1-1, a more aggressive build. This time we add on swap though, so this is looking a lot more standard. If you remember, in the last game, we didn't go for the add-on swap, and we reacted at Marines, and we went for a vanilla Marine drop. This time we're reacting at Hellions. So with this tech lab on the way, we could go for an add-on swap with Hellion Banshee, something a little more standard. That's a second, what? Oh my god, that's a second starport. 2-port Banshee, right? Like, we should be going for an add-on swap here and then going for a second tech lab and massing Banshee. If it was BC, we would already see a fusion core by now. So yeah, there we go. Banshee production has begun. Starport finishing up. Now what's interesting here is this tech lab. The tech lab on the racks. So typically I would assume that 2-port Banshee would be for mech, to transition to mech. But this tech lab on the racks, okay, wait, add-on swap. Okay, I was gonna say that it's a little bit awkward to add-on swap, so we might be going towards stim, but no, we're add-on swapping. Meanwhile, Overlord is coming in for a scout. We only have the one Marine. Only the one Marine to deny the scout, which means the Overlord sees most things. Does confirm the 1-1-1, but this is not enough. We see a tech lab researching the starport. This looks normal. This looks standard. Looks like Hellion Banshee. Little do we know that it's going to be Hellion Mass Banshee with Hyperflight rotors also on the way. It's a wild build out of Cosmos. And we'll see if Jay can piece it all together. Back at home, spores are on the way. Because we scouted the initial tech lab researching, we know that it's Cloak. We're getting ready for Banshees initially. But because we're going for an influx of Banshees, we may be able to catch the Zerg player off guard. We might be able to catch Queens specifically. Queens and then the drones thereafter. So we are amassing up Banshees, 3rd CC in the main. Hellions are amassing as well as we speak. And once again, Jay does go for a Roach Warren, is embracing Roaches, but he's not going for a Roach push. He's just playing defensively, taking a 4th base as well. Just, yeah, a much more macro-oriented kind of outlook here from Jay. There's the second factory, so it is mech, as we mentioned. When I saw the tech lab initially on the racks, I was like, oh, maybe we're going for stim. No stim. It is mech. The racks only making add-ons here for the Terran army. That's the purpose of the racks. Just make tech labs. Ay. So from here, we do see Jay getting ready for Lingbane Roach Ravager. Cyclones are amassing. Banshees have yet to move out. How many Banshees do we have? 5. 5 Banshees here for Cosmos. They move out. Jay does not spot it. Just barely. Does miss the Banshees. And what do we have? The gas geysers here at the natural are exposed, so we can go for the gases. Likewise, the 4th base, there is no spore, but this is spore crawler at each of the mineral lines. And what do we go for? We're going for the army. We can go for roaches, we can go for creep tumors. We have options. Roaches are being targeted. Skirting around, going for the queens. And this is what we wanted. We got 1 queen so far. Just the one. Rotating over towards the right-hand side. Detection is available. We head towards the 4th base. No spore. And no spore available. We get another queen. Again, a good stutter stepping here, but 1 Banshee goes down. The drones, they come back. No! They come back too soon. Drones, get out of here. 7 drone kills for 1 Banshee. It's an okay trade. 7 drone kills, 2 queens. It's okay. Banshees do pivot away. Behind this, we have Blue Flame in production. Banshees, they get a spore. Oh my god. Barely to escape. They get a spore. More factories finishing up. Jay working into his own lane counterattack, and the wall is open. The wall is open. SCVs are going down. Not too many though. For the most part, we're in position. Yeah, we shut down the lings. Nice moves there from Cosmos, where he was, ready for it. Behind this, Jay once again rushing into the Hive. Hive is on the way. Spire as well. Spire will give us access to mutas if we so choose. And Cosmos is getting Ravens. Okay, or Raven. We have 1 Raven on the way here for Cosmos. Just for detection. A little bit of support as well. We're securing ourselves, getting into just tank Hellion essentially. We don't have Hurricane engines. We don't really have any Cyclones to speak of. Just tank Hellion, a little bit more old school. Meanwhile, Jay is not going Muta, is embracing Corruptor. Now, if he had gone Muta, I would love that. Just because there's only 2 Cyclones. 2 Cyclones, no upgrades for the Cyclones, no Thors, no Vikings. Mutas had potential, but alas, not going to be going for that yet. Not this time. Alright, mutas. Corruptors, they catch the Raven. Nice pickup. Expensive unit goes down. Corruptors reveal themselves. Cyclones now on the way. From here, I wouldn't be opposed to Viking production. Vikings, their goal wouldn't just be to kill Corruptors, but to zone away the Viper. Now, I guess Cosmos is unaware of the tech of the Hive, but that is kind of where Vikings kind of would have another purpose, another role. Would be to zone away the Vipers. Changeling gets caught. Jay still massing up his army, maxing out with Lingbane Roach Ravager. Now we're working towards Hurricane Thrusters. And we spoke about it, but again, Cosmos is looking quite secure here. Interesting that Cosmos is not expanding on the right-hand side, he's expanding towards the left, which is a little bit more vulnerable and does spread you more thin. What I'm referring to is that typically if a Terran player were to expand on the right hand side, it does mean that this goal base is, right next to our base. Well, we can take the goal to protect this base to, right behind it. So it's a little bit more natural, a little bit easier to expand and take a fifth. Here the fifth base is going to be a little bit more difficult for Cosmos because we are spread thin. I should say taking the goal base is kind of a natural defense to your fourth base behind it. So Cosmos instead expanding towards the left. Scan reveals the army. Tanks, some of them are unsieged. There we go. Do set up. Tanks are set up. This time we have a much heavier Hellbat count. Yeah, Ling's now going to be melting against the Hellbats, and the Ravagers, they cannot dive in. Decent piles, but Cosmos does hold the line. Yeah, Vipers are on the way. We didn't need them earlier. Vipers are coming into the mix. We could actually even work towards a Greater Spire and towards Broodlords to make use of the Corruptors. That is an option here for Jay if we wanted to go for a longer game. And embrace, the hyper late game and go like Broodlord Infestor. Not sure if we want that, but it's available. Good, the Raptor diving in once again. Nice positioning here out of Cosmos. Yeah, the Lings, they melt. They get one tank. The Ravagers, they shot one tank down, but again, that was not worth it. Decent piles on the Hellbats, but Hellbats are expendable. Scan into the main reveals that there is no Greater Spire. There is a Hive. There we go. Vikings are on the way. Ghost production as well. Oh my god. Jay just mass expanding. Expanding towards the bottom right, expanding towards the center as well. Jay taking base after base. It's crazy. Taking initial bases. Lings, they shut down one of the tanks. All the tanks are exposed. Yeah, 2 tanks go down. 3 tanks go down. Ravagers have to back off from here, but good damage nonetheless. Did pick up some key units. And Jay, again, being very cavalier, being very bold with these expansions. Shouldn't get the go base up and running. If he somehow does, that's going to be insane. This go base would be so valuable for Jay to take minerals away from the Terran. That's essentially what's happening here with this expansion, is that you're just taking resources away from Cosmos. And that should not be occurring, but we'll see if we can saturate it. See if Cosmos does realize what's going on. Meanwhile, Lingbane collapsing in. Where are the blinding clouds? Ooh, solid piles. We bring down the first line of tanks. Tanks do fall. Planetaries are getting set up. Nidus on the right hand side. Nidus towards the left as well. Jay is all over this. And there it is, the blinding clouds. And with that, we can collapse on top of the tanks. And again, where's the support? Where are the Hellbats? Where are the Cyclones? And not here. The tanks, they're falling one after the other on their own. They can't do much. And we shut down every single tank. How many was that? That was, oh my god, 9, 10 tanks? 10 tanks just went down for mainly Ling Bane. Look what we lost. We lost 3 Ravagers and 2 Corruptors. Like, gas-wise, that's nothing. And 61 Lings. And again, we can lose Lings. We can throw them away. It's fine. More tanks going down. We're getting on top of the Ghost as well. It looks like Cosmos has been broken. His main army has crumbled, and he's struggling to keep up. Now stuck with a Hellbat Ghost. No more tanks, and without tanks, there's no backbone to his army. There's nothing to fall back to. There's nothing really holding him up. And Jay, not able to actually mine through some of these bases, but has them nonetheless. Has map control. Has so much freedom here on Akione. And now we're going in for the final push. For the final assault, Bailings into tanks, not the best trades, but we have protection. We shut down the Ghost regardless. There's no standing army. GG, well played, and Jay will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Jay will take the series. He will take the 2-0. Did come in as the favorite player, but a shout out to Cosmos. I rarely get to cast him. I've casted him like once or 2 times, like in our years of casting StarCraft. So always do appreciate featuring Cosmos whenever we can. And he does go down in the first round, but Cosmos, he's ready to cast. He's ready to jump on and start casting, and do hope he has a great stream. Do hope he has a great cast. Much love to him. Meanwhile, Jay will advance on into the next round, and Jay, who does he have waiting ahead of it? Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat